What is up, guys? ArchAngel Manga here, and I am bringing you today a manga tag. This is something that was set up by Insidious Swede, and he forwarded me a message saying, he'd like me to get involved. So I watched his video already, and I thought the questions were interesting. So it's like 10 questions, all manga related. You've done one of these tags before. I've done one of these tags before, and they're always fun to do. So I've got 10 questions. I'm just going to read them from the message. Okay, so the first question. What's your favourite manga series not licensed outside of Japan? Okay, this is a difficult question because obviously I don't read a lot of manga online. But years and years and years ago, well, I say years and years ago, probably 2-3 years ago, I read a little bit of Saint Young Men, and that was just, it was so funny. From like the few chapters that I read. Basically, it's about Buddha and Jesus taking a break from the heavenly duties. It's basically living a slice of life story in Tokyo. Basically, they have a vacation in Tokyo, and there's a lot of comedy that ensues. They basically just do really mundane, mortal things like renting apartments, going to the library, going to theme parks, shopping, just really mundane human things that should be in all cases beyond people as heavenly and bespoke as they are. So it's a really funny series, and unfortunately, it's not ever. I don't ever think it's going to get an English release because apparently the mangaka doesn't want it to get a Western release due to the fact that they don't want it to be controversial or offending in any way, because it deals with like religious idols, So that's unfortunate. Okay, next question. What's your most anticipated manga release of 2015? I'm really looking forward to Tokyo Ghoul, but other than that, I haven't really been keeping up to date with what's going to be getting released this year. I'm not really sure what manga releases are going to be coming up later in the year. I'm really looking forward to Master Keaton, but obviously that's now already out. I'm going to be picking that up. So yeah, personally, I'm looking forward to some more Tezuka manga. Last year there was a Kickstarter for Captain Ken. That's going to be getting released this year. I'm looking forward to picking up that. I'm looking forward to some more Tezuka Kickstarters, to be honest, or just more digital manga publishing Kickstarters in general. I'm looking forward to Mobile Suit Gundam: The Origin coming to an end. I think that's going to be this year. So yeah, just a few things. Next question. Google Chrome. What's your most underrated manga series that you own? That's a very difficult question because obviously it's very subjective. But if I were going to answer that question in its entirety, then I'll probably recommend a plethora, dozens and dozens of series that could be subjectively considered underrated. But one thing that I think people fail to neglect, that I really like, is A Bride's Story by Kawada Mori. Basically a slice of life historical piece, basically about marriage in Asia Minor, like a few hundred years ago, or like 150 years ago. It's a really great tale. Some stories are kind of episodic from volume to volume. It moves like elsewhere, and then like towards like the 4th and 5th volumes, the stories start to converge on one character. But it's a really good manga. Highly recommend it. I'm gonna try and get through this as quickly as possible because I'm actually eating dinner right now. I'm neglecting my food. Okay, so next question. Whoops. No, we don't want to open Firefox. We want to open Google Chrome. What is the most recent volume of manga that you've read? I'm not going to answer this yet because I'm currently I've done the first part already of Immortalium's 24-hour manga marathon. So I'm currently actually reading quite a lot of manga like simultaneously. So the most recent manga that I've read that hasn't actually been part of the 24-hour manga marathon is something I've just recently finished. Oh dear. And that is Triton of the Sea by Osamu Tezuka. I've been on hiatus from Tezuka season because this took me a very long time to get through because I didn't really like it. You will hear my review on this when I record my Tezuka season, like part season 2 video with this is the starter or the opener. So yeah, this is one thing I've been recently reading that hasn't actually been part of the 24-hour manga marathon. Yeah, just more Tezuka really. But in terms of the actual manga marathon, I'm not going to reveal any of the manga that I've been reading. don't want that to be a surprise, unfortunately. Okay, next question. What's your favourite Takeshi Obata work? Favourite Takeshi Obata work, hands down, has to be Bakuman. Bakuman is my favourite Takeshi Obata work. I absolutely love this manga. I liked Death Note, but Death Note was kind of dark and dreary. And yeah, I wish I started with this and then gone on to Death Note, but this is really uplifting, really light-hearted. I absolutely loved it, and I feel like the artwork is actually better in this than it is in Death Note. So yeah, Bakuman. Okay. Next question. What's your favorite One Piece arc? My favorite One Piece arc is Shadow Move. Out of my way. It's snot all over me. My favorite One Piece arc is Water 7. Because it features solely on Robin, Nico Robin, who's my favorite Straw Hat. And I absolutely love this arc. You know, there's so many different things going on within the Straw Hat crew. You know, detailing, you know, the backstories with Nico Robin, the whole, you know, awkward dynamic with Usopp. Obviously, I'm not going to spoil anything if you know, people who are watching haven't got to One Piece. But yeah, Water 7 is my favourite arc of One Piece so far. Next question. What's your favourite male manga character? Very vague question, I feel, and it's very difficult to answer for that fact. I'm going to go with one of my favourites. I don't necessarily know if this person or this character is my favourite male manga character, because I have a lot of favourite male manga characters, but this is one of them, and that is Sasaki Kojiro from Vagabond. Solely based on the fact that, you know, how he's written and how he develops, you know, so unique from like other characters, because obviously in this manga he's deaf and mute, so he can't communicate, you know, verbally or, you know, linguistically. He has his own sort of set of linguistics, which obviously is only unique to him. And basically he communicates visually. It's really, really fascinating. You know, he's been setting it at like feudal Japan, so there's no such thing as like sign language or anything like that. So, you know, he has to communicate, you know, via other means, you know, just through like feelings and things like that. It's just really fascinating. I think he's a fascinating character. Similarly with the last question, next question is, who's your favourite female manga character? Another question which is kind of hard to really truly answer, because I don't have like a definitive favourite female character. But if I had to pick two, which I have two right here, it would be Nico Robin and Olivier Mira Armstrong from Fullmetal Alchemist and obviously One Piece. I like both of these characters for the fact that they're very strong-willed. They don't adhere to, you know, the sort of like common female tropes in manga, other than, you know, they're very voluptuous and, you know, very sexy, but, you know, they're very, you know, they're very individual, they're very strong-willed, and they can really hold their own, you know, in their respective sort of abilities. Olivia Mira Armstrong being, you know, a great leader, a great like sword fighter, great tactician. Nico Robin being a great historian, archaeologist. You know, she's, you know, a good tactician. You know, she can like deduce an enemy's sort of, you know, weaknesses and stuff like that. You know, she's just clever. So yeah, they're two of my favourite female manga characters. Next question is what's your favourite ending to a manga? That's a difficult question. I've chosen one, obviously, but and that's Parasite. The ending to Parasite. Obviously, I'm not going to talk about it because, you know, the ending spoilers. But this is definitely one of the greatest endings to a manga that I've ever read. Just simply for the fact that it doesn't leave you with any more questions. You know, all questions are, you know, are answered. You know, all bases are covered, and it ends at the perfect point. You know, it doesn't need to drag itself out. You know, it just ends, you know, when it's still at its climax, and it's not like abrupt, but, you know, it's a very necessary ending for where it, you know, for where it ends, and it just ends just beautifully. You know, I really couldn't ask for any more with the ending with this manga, and it's one of them endings where you don't feel that you need, you know, you don't really feel the need for like a sequel or anything like that, or a continuation. You know, like what happens to the characters afterwards. That big, you know, because you can kind of imagine what happens anyway. But yeah, Parasite. That's the greatest ending to a manga I've read so far. Okay, so the next question, final question, was what's your favourite anime series of all time? My favorite anime series of all time is a series that I haven't even finished, and that is Mushishi. Um, but I would definitely say my favorite anime series that I've finished is Fooly Cooly. But I haven't finished this, and it's still currently my favorite. Basically about Ginkgo, Mushi Master. You can basically see sentient beings that exist on the fringe between the living and the dead, they live in between those two planes of existence. And he can see these beings, and they basically intertwine with the living world in positive and negative ways, and he just goes around solving mysteries surrounding these beings, and it's just beautiful. The music, the visuals, the characters, the stories. Each story is episodic. Each episode is episodic. It's just brilliant. It's just absolutely brilliant. I highly recommend Mushishi. Yeah, that's been my manga tag video. Yeah, that's all the questions. So Insidious Swede, thanks for forwarding it on to me. It's greatly appreciated. Because it's an open tag, I probably won't really tag anybody, because anybody can basically respond to this. If you're watching this video, then consider yourself tagged. Similarly with the Insidious Swede. So I'll put a link to his video in the description below. And yeah, ciao.